Look, the edge starts working. There you go. Well, now it's working.
Okay.
I think we're actually making noise.
And okay, great. I hope you all can hear me. Should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah.
My name's Chris. I'm a first-year student at the Ross School of Business, the University of Michigan. I am a current student of Professor Call in the follow-on course to Introduction to Finance. I completed Introduction to Finance last term, and I still feel quite familiar with most of the information you guys are going through. So I'm really excited to be here and answer your questions.
Hi guys, my name is Peng. I'm from Shanghai, China. So I'm a first-year MBA student here at Ross. I actually completed the Introduction to Finance before I came to Ross. So I kind of have been through the process like you are doing right now. And also in school now, we are in the Fast Track Finance project, and we are doing the follow-up courses. So kind of here to help you guys if you have any questions. Thank you.
Guest 7891, I wanted to get back to you about your question. You were asking about quiz 6, question 4. It's a question asking you to find the expected price per share of a company a year from now, given certain information. I believe we have the stock price today, we have a cost of equity capital, and we have a dividend yield. And I think actually the prompt for the question offers you it offers you all of the information you need to answer this. You just
got it. So
okay, all right, great.
I thought I approached that way. Wouldn't you be able to?
Mm-hmm.
Is this question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking about how to do that.
Where's the text? Question?
Sorry?
Where's the text of the question?
The text is in quiz 6 here. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. So I would say they don't have a current EPS.
One's dividend per.
Wait, but that's in the future.
I think that's for cash flows in the future.
Yeah. Don't they need it now?
The current dividend yield.
Okay.
So you made something. It's not earnings per share. You could say it's dividend per share.
Yeah.
What do you think? Huh?
Well, we have him be on mute, or like I did last time was just the current price multiplied by like 110%.
But go ahead. You can start talking to the camera now.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my shot on this question. Basically, we have in the question we have the data like 10% of discount rate. So I see this as kind of like the value. So this year we have a stock price, right? And then based on the discount rate, we basically know like next year the price will be increased by the discount rate. And also we have the current dividend rate. So we basically know like how much we have to pay based on the current stock price. Then if you calculate the stock price for next year and then minus that kind of stock price by the dividend we are paying, we will pay out in this year. So that's kind of the expected price per share like for next year. So that's my logic for this question. If you have any question, please just type it out.
How about you just solve it out with your numbers? So that
We're going to take a look at writing this problem out and going through Peng's method. This should come up on your screen in just a second.
Yeah. So because everyone has different data, so I will just put my numbers in.
Yeah, the numbers will be different, but the method's the same.
you want to talk through it?
Yeah. So the numbers are up, right? So like I said, so basically I have the T0 here. The stock price is 51, and then the discount rate is 10%, and also the dividend rate is 3.5%. And then we are trying to figure out the stock price for T1, so next year. And then based on the discount rate, we basically can know that the stock price will be in next year. Let me calculate the number here. So that's like 51 multiplied 1.5. So that's 56.1. And then here we have the stock price multiplied the dividend rate. That's 1. And then the expected stock price is basically the price for T1 and then minus the dividend paid out by T0. So that's what I have for this 54.32. So this is like according to my numbers, that how I calculated my solution. But I think in general, the logic should be same. You just have different numbers.
He says 8, 9, 10. I need numbers, please.
Okay.
Do we need a screenshot or just clear it or like stop sharing? Okay.
These are the pen.
Okay.
Maybe hit escape.
That's this one. Okay, so it should be back now. Escape.
It's coming back.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll look at the 9, right?
Quiz 5,
Quiz 5,
8, 9, 10.
I look at 9. I will work on number 9.
You're going to work on number 9?
Okay. So if you
Okay.
like start with 8 or I can start with the 9. I think it's quite straightforward.
So I think they're pretty lost. Just discuss it.
Yep. Okay. Now I'll take a look at this one. But again, using my numbers, I'm talking about question 8 on quiz number 5 right now. I'll use my numbers. So again, they'll be a little bit different from what you guys are looking at, but the method will be very similar.
Let's see.
Yep.
Do you want to use this one?
Yeah. I'll start writing some of this out on our screen really quickly. In my version of the problem, I was looking at a bond with a face value of $1,000, a 0.08 yield to maturity. That's 8% written as a decimal, not 0.08%. And I was given 7 years to maturity. And that was sort of condition 1. My approach to this problem was looking through, going through and figuring out the price I originally paid for the bond. And that gave me, I came up with 500, excuse me.
It doesn't work. Just cross it. I think.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
Just cross it.
No, never mind. Let's stop experimenting with our hardware. I eventually drew out a $577.48 price. That's what I paid. Remember, we're looking for a capital gain, so this is going to be the difference in P2 minus P1, the absolute increase in price. And so then this is all the original circumstances under which you bought the bond. And now you've gone on, you've had this financial emergency and you're forced to sell. So going back, we're now looking at, the bond still has a $1,000 face value. And, but the yield to maturity's changed. It's now 5.5%. I always write these as decimals because that's how I input them into Excel, and I find I get confused less if I see it that way. So this is your yield to maturity. And now because 3 years have gone on and you're 3 years into owning the bond, you have 4 years remaining. So 7 minus 3 equals 4 years to maturity. Going through here, I calculated out a price, and I got 804.91. And after eventually I to find the capital gain, you obviously subtract P1 from P2, and this gave me something on the order of $227. Yeah, I think are 43 and change. The really important thing to remember here is that whether or not there's a coupon, bonds are structured to compound twice a year. So when you're calculating these prices, you just want to remember to divide your yield to maturity by 2 and multiply your the number of years you're working with by 2 in order to account for that 6-month period. That's where I originally had trouble with this question, but going back, I got this answer, and I think if you guys approach this question the same way, you'll meet with success. Yep. Thanks for the question.
Do you want to do one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 9.
So we get number 10.
Yep. Can we just switch?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I will start work on the assignment 5, question 9. And so the question basically was asking about the face value of a bond. I think first we have to clarify that the face value is basically the future value of all the bond and plus the coupon payment.
Hold on. Let's try this now.
Not all?
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Okay, sorry that now you should see my screen. So just to be clear, face value is basically the future value of the bond value and plus the coupon payment. So that's how we calculate the face value. And then according to this question, so the company needs to borrow, so T0 is today, the company needs to borrow $2.5 million. But then the company actually can use this borrowed money to generate cash flow, so about $250,000 cash flow. But then actually the hot small industry need to actually pay a yield of 11%. So that's kind of all the input we need. And one thing to remember, because the bond is compounded every 6 months, so all these numbers we actually need to calculate for a half-year period. So then the yield rate will be 5.5%. Let me check my note. Yes, and also the payment will be half, so 124,000. And then we have the timeline. So we actually have a maturity of 11 years. So that's 22 period of half years. Okay, with all these we actually just need to calculate two parts. First part is the 2.5 million borrowed money in T22. So that's for the $2.5 million. We can use Excel the FV formula. That is first the discount rate. So every 6 months, 5.5%. And then we will have 22 periods, so 11 years. And then every half a year, we have 125,000. I'm sorry, that's, so this is not, so this is for the coupon payment, yeah. So this, if you use this formula, you can actually get the value, the future value of all the coupon payments. And then second step, you get the future value of the 2.5 million debt. So there you can also use the formula in Excel. So we started with the same 5.5% and then 22 months, but here is 2.5 million. Yeah. No. Okay, and then based on these two calculations, you can have this one equals to 8,118,843. So that's the future value of the debt. But then you are paying back every 6 months the coupon. So that's 5.108035. Okay. So these two parts, if you minus the debt, the total debt you have, and minus it from the coupon, then you should have a value of the future value of the bond. Yeah. So I hope it's not so confusing, but the key point for this question is really it's just two components of the bond. So you calculate the future value of the debt at the T0, and then you minus that future value by the future value of all coupon payment. So then you get really the future value of this bond. And the face value is basically the future value of the bond. So then you have your answer there. So thank you for asking. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep it up. All right, guys, I'll look at question 10 from quiz number 5. And this is a tough problem, but fortunately, I think it really looks at, I think, a realistic real world situation. So it's kind of neat in that sense. But you're looking at, again, I'm going to do this problem with my numbers. You won't have the same thing, but I think the approach is it will be common across everybody's quizzes. And there's a little conceptual trick in here that I'll be sure to point out. And just let me know if you're still having trouble with this, because this is a complicated question. But okay, so we begin with a bond that was issued with a 25-year timeline. Let's see. The coupon is $7,500, paid at a 37.50 every 6 months rate. And originally, the face value of the bond, so I'm going to write that out, is $1 million. This is a 0. Now let's see. Our company has run into financial trouble, and it's had to renegotiate the discount rate on the bonds. They're going to postpone their remaining coupons and sort of put them aside and let them accrue interest at 4.5% per year. So that's the rate for postponed coupons. And then these were initially issued with an 8.5% yield to maturity. But they've now, because they've run into these financial troubles, their bonds are viewed as being more risky. So they have a higher yield to maturity now of 16.5%. And so this is all, as I said, they originally issued the bonds with a 25-year timeline. We've moved 5 years into that. So we're now working with a 20-year years until maturity. Okay, so let's see. I went through and I looked at the, I thought, so the present value of the bond is going to be a combination of the face value and or the price today. Sorry, the price of the bond is going to be the future value of all these coupon payments that are accruing interest. So I looked at the present value of these $3,750 coupons being put in a bank account at 4.5% interest rate. I divided that by 2 because bonds work on a 6-month cycle. So, and then they're being put away for 20 years, which should be multiplied by 2 in order to make up for the twice yearly bond schedule. And then, yeah, there's our coupon rate. So that's that gave me a number around 98,000. There's a little more in there, but I don't want to go into too much detail. I think that that we just get to a point where we're all getting different answers because of small numbers. But and then the second piece of this is the face value of the bond discounted back. And actually, just a moment. So we want to look at the future value of those same coupon payments. So you're going to look at again 0.045 divided by 2, 20 times 2, and 3750. That will give you a number like $239,000. And then the trick here is that we have to bring our answer above back to present day, back to year 0. So we're looking at, I'm going to start writing over here. I apologize for how cluttered this is getting. We're looking at the present value of this $239 number. But because the yield to maturity has now changed at this point in the problem, we need to discount this $239,000 number back at the rate of 16.5%. So that's a PV of 165 divided by 2, 20 times 2. This is a multiplication, and then 239,000, and that will give you a number on the order of $10,000. And then the ultimate price of this bond, the ultimate price of this bond will be the sum of those two numbers. So it will look something like 10,000 plus 98,000 equals somewhere in the neighborhood of $108,000. And that's the approach I use for this problem. The part I really struggled with was how to incorporate this new yield to maturity into the problem. And it wasn't intuitive, but eventually you actually discount your coupon payments back at a different rate, and that different rate is the 165. I know it's a little confusing because you're accruing coupons at a 4.5% rate in this setup. That's your rate right here. But because of the way the bond is designed, after this financial emergency, and you're using this new 16.5 yield to maturity, you discount back at this yield to maturity. And that's where I originally stumbled in this problem. So thank you. All right.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, now let's look at the assignment 6, question 9. So according to this question, that this utility company basically generating, with their current technology, they generate $13 million per year. So this is their yearly cash flow. And payout to their 1 million shareholders. So, and also they are planning to actually invest in the new opportunities. So they are basically like two opportunity. So first is that in T1, so 1 year from now, they will have 15 million income for the system that they will invest, and then they will stay constantly at so T2 and beyond. The cash flow after that is 8 million per year and lasts forever. So that's kind of a strong hint for perpetuity. And then the company basically have a cost of equity of 10%. So then the question is asking to calculate whether this share price, the stock price, whether it will increase or decrease and by how much. So that's our question. And here is how I want to tackle the question. So basically we have like two stages of the investment. So we start with T0, T1, T2, and beyond. So important thing is really we have already a 30 million income, so that's will not change. That is the current. So basically, based on this information, we know that the stock price will be the dividend divided by the R. So we know that the current stock price is 300. So it's nice to calculate everything incremental. So the baseline for us, the baseline price is $300. So then we consider the incremental of the investment, so of the new opportunity. So we have basically like a new opportunity here. So that's so from the second year we will have additional 8 million cash flow, and also in T1 we will have additionally 15 million additional. So this is the new opportunity. Okay. And based on this calculation, we can actually get the share price of 359. So then this is P new. Then the third hand, the change here will be P new minus P0. So based on this calculation, we know that the share price will increase by $59. So the key learning point here is basically you have to do all the calculation incremental. You have to have a baseline first, and then you put on all the new cash flow onto that existing cash flow, and then calculate the stock price. And then if you compare the two prices, then you have the differences between the old and the new stock price. So that's how I tackle this question. Thank you for asking. Okay. Do we have any other questions? No.
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay. Okay.
Just use this card.
This card. Okay. time. Okay, thank you for everyone's time. So,
Yeah. See you next time, and good luck with all the homework. Stick in there. It's tough, but it's really, you feel great when it's all through, and there's a lot of great stuff to learn.
right. Bye.